slow, I think we can start. Okay, so as you can see on our screen, we have in the cover page, we have the launch of uh, a spacecraft, so 100% commercial mission in courtesy of MHI. So as I have said, heat transfer is also applicable to aerospace industry. And speaking of aerospace industry, so we have in a university, so yung Purdue University, sila yung expert sa heat transfer. So, ay, sorry. Pakinig ba kanina? So anyway, so we have here the Purdue University expert in heat transfer. So they have the previous experiment regarding thermal radiation in space environment. And just recently, heat transfer experiment arrives at the International Space Station. So the flow boiling and condensation experiment. So developed by Purdue University engineers, and it arrives at International Space Station, and soon it will advance the science of heat transfer in microgravity. So yun yung mga recent development, no? So sa heat in the field of heat transfer. Okay, so today we will discuss the conduction heat transfer. So as you can see here, it is an example of heat transfer of metal involving cast iron in an annealing oven in a foundry. So I think may field trip kayo na subject, no? Tama. So,
Wala po. Plant tour lang po ata.
okay. So, yun. Kapag nagkaroon kayo ng field trip na subject, so pwede nyo mapuntahan yung mga industry na process ng metals. So, yun. Isa sa pinaka-main application ng conduction heat transfer. So, our objectives for today is first identify the important properties in heat transfer, develop a deeper understanding of Fourier's law, develop from basic principles the general equation termed as the heat diffusion equation, which governs the temperature distribution in a medium, and to solve problems related to conduction heat transfer. Okay. Yun, meron tayong di-discuss na equation, the heat diffusion equation or heat equation. So ito yung nag-govern ng temperature distribution in a medium. Yes. So as we discussed, the conduction is the transport of energy in a medium due to a temperature gradient, and the physical mechanism is one of random atomic or molecular activity. So if there's a direct contact and there is a difference in temperature of the two surface, so the heat will transfer. So the Fourier's law is a phenomenological. So when we say phenomenological, it is developed from observed phenomena rather than being derived from first principles. Hence, we view the rate equation as a generalization based on much experimental evidence. So yun nga, during our first meeting, I have mentioned that Fourier's law is experimental. So si Fourier, he tried to investigate the cylindrical rod of known material. So and it is insulated on its lateral surface. So while its ends are maintained, it's at different temperatures. Let's say yan, T1 from the other side and T2 on the from the left side is T1 and T2 on the right side. So T1 is greater than T2, so obviously the heat will transfer. So temperature difference cause conduction heat transfer in the positive x direction. So ito yung x direction natin, yung delta x. So we are able to measure the heat transfer rate, Q, and we seek to determine how Q or heat transfer rate depends on the following variables: the temperature, difference or delta T, the rod length, and the cross-sectional area. So, chinek ni for you kung paano nagbabari yung change in temperature, yung area, at saka yung rod length. So, kung paano nagbabari. Okay, so we might imagine first holding P and X constant. So, ang ginawa niya, hinold niya muna yung X at saka T. And binago niya yung area. So, ang nangyari, nalaman niya na directly proportional yung area sa rate ng heat transfer. So, yan, yung area is directly proportional to heat transfer. So, ang next na binago niya ay yung X naman. So, yung X yung nagbabari. So, ang nangyari dun sa rad, habang humahaba yung rad, so nagbabari yung heat transfer din. So, bumababa naman yung rate ng heat transfer. So, kaya inversely proportional. Kaya nasa denominator yung X. So, finally, holding A and X constant, we find that Qx is directly proportional to temperature. So, ang next naman niya na hinold na constant ay yung area, tsaka yung length. And then, ang nagbabari naman is yung temperature. So, by doing that, na-determining for your na yung temperature, yung change in temperature is directly proportional sa rate of heat transfer. So, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong equation. So, K or Qx is directly proportional to A, area, and change in temperature, but inversely proportional to length. So in changing the material from metal to plastic, we would find that this proportionality remains valid. However, we would also find out that for equal values Ax and T, the value of Qx will be smaller for the plastic than for the metal. So this suggests that proportionality may be converted to equality by introducing a coefficient that is measure of material behavior. So hence we write yung ating kaya meron tayong thermal conductivity is K is that yun nga, nagbabari yung property ng material. So K is the thermal conductivity in watt per meter Kelvin and is an important property of material. So evaluating the expression as delta x in the limit as delta x approaches 0, so we obtain the heat rate equation Qx equals negative Ka dt over dx. So kapag heat flux, di-divide lang natin ang area yung ating heat rate equals negative K dt over dx. So yun yung heat rate equation, Fourier's law equation. Okay. In heat transfer, so as I have mentioned, so heat flux is a vector quantity. So we can write in a more general statement of conduction rate equation as follows. So kapag three-dimensional na tayo, three-dimensional, so meron tayong x, tsaka y, at tsaka z direction. So nagkakaroon tayo ng partial differential equation. So kapag three-dimensional, dyan tayo gagamit ng partial differential equation. So this equation, Q, yung kanina na k dt over dx. So pang ano lang to, pang one-dimensional equation. So kapag three-dimensional, meron tayong x, y, at saka z. So kaya hindi na applicable yung differential equation na to. So gagamit na tayo ng partial differential equation. So marireview nyo yung advanced math nyo dito sa heat transfer. So using when there is a three-dimensional, so we often use this inverted delta. So Q equals negative k delta t. So equals negative k. So partial derivative of t with respect to x plus I partial derivative of t with respect to x plus j partial derivative of t with respect to y, and k partial derivative of t with respect to z. So x, y, and z direction kapag three-dimensional. So pag two-dimensional, di x at saka y lang. Okay, so an alternative form of Fourier's law is therefore Q double prime or heat flux equals Q double prime n equals negative k delta t ay partial derivative of t with respect to n times n. So ito yung Fourier's law, alternative form. Okay. Ito yung sasabi ko na XYZ direction. So, may X, may Y, tsaka may Z direction or N. So, when heat flux is yung ating Q dito, Q double prime N is heat flux in direction N, which is normal to isotherm, and N is the unit of normal vector in direction. So, pwede nating ma-resolve yung heat flux vector into components such as that in the Cartesian coordinates. So, the general equation for Q double prime or heat flux equals I Q double heat flux at x direction plus J times heat flux at y direction plus K times heat flux at z direction. So yung kanina, yung kapag one-dimensional lang, di ba, delta t over delta x. Ngayon naman, partial derivative of t with respect to x na tayo. So gumagamit na tayo ng partial derivative. So yung pag x direction, so ito lang yung nababago lang yung denominator. So x to y at saka then z direction. Okay, question? Sunod pa ba? So Fourier's law is the cornerstone of conduction heat transfer, and its key features are summarized as follows. So it is not an expression that may be derived from first principles, but instead it is a generalization based on experimental evidence. So it is an expression that defines an important material property, the thermal conductivity. So in addition, Fourier's law is a vector expression indicating that heat flux is normal to an isotherm and in the direction of increasing temperatures. So finally, note that Fourier's law applies to all matter, regardless of the state. So solid, liquid, or gas. So, basta merong direct contact, so applicable yung Fourier's law. So, example, yung nakita sa screen, so from 20 degrees, since negative 10 yung temperature sa labas, so magta-transfer ang heat at x direction. So, sa one-dimensional, itong direction lang na ito yung pinakonsider natin. Complicated nga pag 3D kasi yun, consider nyo pa yung y tsaka yung x direction. So, yeah. As you can see here, this is the thermal conductivity property. So, it is the thermal properties of matter, one of the thermal properties. And last week, we defined the thermophysical properties. So, it is divided into two. We have transport and thermodynamics. So, this thermal conductivity is the transport property. So, to use the Fourier's law, the thermal conductivity of material must be known. So, this property, which is referred to as a transport property, provides an indication of the rate at which energy is transferred by diffusion process. So, it depends on the physical structure of matter. So, atomic and molecular, which is related to the state of matter. As you can see on our graph, ito yung nasa x-axis natin is yung thermal conductivity in watt per meter Kelvin. So, pinakamataas dyan ay, as you can see, is yung mga solids or yung mga pure metals. Then, yung pinakamababang thermal conductivity is nasa left, yung gas, followed by liquid, followed by non-metallic solids, followed by alloys, and lastly, pure metals. So, yung mga stainless steel, copper, aluminum, yan yung mga matataas yung thermal conductivity. Kaya, yan yung ginagamit for cooking or anything na nagre-require na heat transfer. So, this is the temperature dependence of thermal conductivity of selected solids. So, nasa y-axis yung thermal conductivity, sa x-axis yung temperature. So, as you can see, as the temperature increases, the thermal conductivity also increases for some metals. Yung iba, pababa. Habang tumataas yung temperature, bumababa yung thermal conductivity. So, kailangan din natin i-consider yung thermal properties ng metal. For example, yung stainless steel. So, habang tumataas yung temperature, tumataas din yung thermal conductivity niya. Ayan, makikita niyo yung stainless steel. May mga metals na bumababa halimbawa, aluminum, yan, medyo bumababa ng konti habang nag-increase. Tungsten, medyo bumababa. So yun yung behavior ng thermal conductivity ng material with regards to temperature. So, other relevant properties of matter. So we have, as I have said, yun nga, meron tayong thermophysical properties which are divided into transport and thermodynamic properties. So yung transport properties included dyan ang thermal conductivity, yung mga diffusion rate coefficients such as thermal conductivity at saka kinematic viscosity. Yan. So, yan yung mga transport properties. So, yung thermodynamic property naman, on the other hand, it pertains to the equilibrium state of a system. Included dyan yung density and specific heat. So, thermal diffusivity as well. Yung mga pressure, temperature, volume, specific volumes, yan yung mga thermodynamic properties. So, lahat ng property na pag-aralan nyo sa thermodynamics. So, yan yung mga thermodynamic properties. Okay, wala pa tayong table, no? Wala pa kayong copy ng table. Baka next meeting pa kapag face-to-face na tayo, doon daw bibigyan ni Don yung tables natin. For now, bibigyan ko muna kayo ng copy nung isang reference natin na may table. Ay sige, hanapin ko lang. Wait lang ha. I-send ko na lang sa messenger kasi magsusolve tayo ng problem using the table of physical properties. Wait lang. Hanapin ko lang yung table natin. Table ng thermophysical properties. Meron ba ditong may table na? Wala pa. So, send ko na lang sa messenger siguro. No? So, magkaka-table kayo pero hard copy. Yung gagamitin sa exam. Next week ko ibibigay. May sinend ako sa GC natin na thermophysical properties. So, yun muna yung gamitin for now habang wala pa tayong table. Okay? So, we will solve sample problem. So, thermal diffusivity alpha is the controlling transport property for transient conduction using appropriate values of K, Rho, and Cp from Appendix A. Yung sinend ko sa inyo sa Appendix A, calculate alpha for the following materials at prescribed temperatures. First is pure aluminum at 300 and 700 Kelvin, silicon carbide at 1000 Kelvin, and then paraffin at 300 Kelvin. So, known yung definition ng thermal diffusivity. So, ano ba yung definition ng thermal diffusivity? So, in heat transfer analysis, the ratio of thermal conductivity, K, over heat capacity or specific heat and density, K over rho Cp, yan yung thermal diffusivity natin. So, para makuha yung value ng thermal diffusivity, pupunta lang kayo sa table of properties, kukunin niyo yung value ng K, ng density, at saka ng specific heat. Tapos, yun, kukunin niyo lang yung ratio nila. Yun, meron na tayong thermal diffusivity. Ang unit nito is meter squared per second. Okay, so, una is aluminum, pure aluminum. So, punta tayo sa table ng pure aluminum. Ito yung pure aluminum, as you can see on our screen. So, ang kanyang density ay 2702 kg per meter cube. Specific heat is 903. Thermal conductivity is 237 and may value na siya ng thermal diffusivity, pero double check natin kung tama ba yung 97.1. Ang temperature niya pala, bali ay nasa 700 ba ang given? Dalawa yung kukunin natin, isa sa 300 tsaka isa 700. Yung sa 300, makukuha na natin dito directly. Ito yung at 300 Kelvin. So at 700, need nyo mag-interpolate dito sa kabilang table. Mag-interpolate kayo dito. Okay? Okay, so kunin natin yung mga values. We have density at 2702, specific heat at 903, at saka K at 237. So kunin nyo lang yung ratio, 237 over density times specific heat is 97.1 times 10 to the negative 6 meters squared per second. So tama yung value dito. 97 times 97.1 times 10 to the negative 6. Negative 2. Okay? Negative 6. 10 to the negative 6. Nagets po yung pagkuha ng value ng thermal diffusivity. Kapag 700 naman, mag-interpolate lang kayo pag 700. So, try to interpolate. Yan. So, at 700, so same yung density. Ang meron changes ay yung specific heat. So, by linear interpolation at 700 Kelvin, ang makukuha yung value ay 1090. CP is 1090. So, nandito siya. Ayan. Pagitan nitong 1033 at saka 1146. And then yung K nyo is 225 at 700. So 225 ay pagitan ng 231 tsaka ng 218. Okay? So yun, makukuha nyo na yung value ng thermal diffusivity, which is 76 times 10 to the negative 6 meters squared per second. Okay, may question? Yung specific heat, yun yung pangalawang row. So ito yung nasa una is thermal conductivity K. So yung pangalawa is yung specific heat. So doon yung kukunin yung value. Yung 1090 kanina. So galing doon. So let's proceed with another table, table 8.2. Nandun naman yung silicon carbide. So yung hinahanap na next is silicon carbide at 1000 Kelvin. So punta tayo sa silicon carbide. Yan. Ito yung silicon carbide, table 8.2. So 1000 Kelvin. 1000 Kelvin yung temperature dito. So 1000 Kelvin. Ang hinahanap ay thermal conductivity tsaka specific heat. May density na tayo at 1,000. Check natin. Hindi naman nagbabago yung density. So, 3,160 yung density na 300. So, ito pa rin yung density. Hindi nagbabago yung density. Tapos, ang specific heat at 1,000 ay 1,195. So, yung value ay galing dito. Sa 1,195. Yan yung specific heat niya. Tapos, yung kanyang K ay 87. 87. So, may makukuha kayong value na 23 times 10 to the negative 6 meters squared per second. Okay, so yan. And then, ang next na hinahanap ay paraffin at 300 Kelvin. So, punta tayo sa table ng paraffin. Pwede nyo naman siya i-control F lang. No? Para malaman nyo kung nasa. Yun, so, yung paraffin is nasa table 8.3. So, 300 Kelvin. So, ang value ng density ay 900. So, we have 0.24 thermal conductivity and 2899 specific heat. Okay, so kunin lang natin yung substitute natin yung mga values. So 900, 2890, tsaka 0.24. So the thermal diffusivity equals K over rho Cp. So we have 0.24 watt per meter Kelvin over density of 900 kilogram per meter cube times 2890 joule per kilogram Kelvin. So we have 9.2 times 10 to the negative 8 meters squared per second. So yan yung ating thermal diffusivity value, alpha. Okay? So note that the temperature dependence of the thermophysical properties of aluminum and silicon carbides. So for example, for silicon carbide, thermal diffusivity is 1000 Kelvin. So yun. So ito yung, kung mapapansin nyo, may mga thermal dependence yung aluminum at saka carbide. So naka-thermally dependent sila. So they have strong temperature dependence. So nagbabago yung value ng thermophysical property nila kapag tumataas yung temperature. So, and also, kung mapapansin nyo din, mas mataas yung value ng metal, thermal diffusivity ng metal compared to other materials. Kasi mas mataas yung kanyang thermal conductivity. And then yun, mag-linear interpolation tayo para makuha yung mga values in between. So use of low, another comment is use of low temperature 300 Kelvin density at higher temperature ignores thermal expansion effects, but it also acceptable for engineering calculations. So pwede tayong gumamit ng density at 300 Kelvin kahit yung ating given temperature is mas mataas sa 300 Kelvin. So, pwedeng yung 300 Kelvin yung gamitin natin. So, acceptable siya for engineering calculations. questions? May question kayo? Okay, yes.
Sir, sa final answer po ba kailangan pa po ng comments?
Depende kung meron kayong gustong i-note or halimbawa meron kayong kailangang i-conclude. So, dun siya i-mention sa comments. For example, meron ang pinapahanap sa problem is halimbawa, transient or steady state ba yung ating heat transfer rate. So, sa comments, pwede nyo doon ilagay na therefore, the rate of heat transfer is a steady state heat transfer. So, mga ganun, kapag meron kayong kailangang i-prove sa problem, so doon nyo ilalagay sa comments. Case-to-case basis. So, minsan naman, kapag exact answer lang yung hinahanap, let's say, may exact value lang na kailangan sa problem, pwedeng wala na comments. So, pag meron lang kailangang i-prove, so doon nyo siya i-mention. Okay? So, we will now proceed with heat diffusion equation. Okay, so a major objective in the conduction analysis is to determine the temperature filled in a medium resulting from conditions imposed on its boundaries. So that is, we wish to know the temperature distribution, which represents how temperature varies in position with the medium. So once this distribution is known, the conduction heat flux at any point in the medium or on its surface may be completed from Fourier's law. So sa heat diffusion equation, parang i-apply natin dito yung first law of thermodynamics. So energy can neither be created nor destroyed. So yung energy na coming into the surface plus yung energy na na-generate, so minus yung energy na going out of the surface is equivalent to the stored energy. So ito yung first law of thermodynamics natin. If you can recall, so yung energy balance, if we are doing the energy balance in thermodynamics, so ito yun. So, and from that energy balance, we will derive the heat diffusion equation. So, ito yung magiging heat diffusion equation natin. So, considering na meron tayong three-dimensional heat transfer, so we have X, Y, at saka Z direction. So, yung energy coming in natin plus energy generated minus energy out is equivalent to energy stored. So later, ipakita ko sa inyo kung paano na-derive the equation. So we have partial derivative of t with respect to x at x direction plus partial derivative of t with respect to y at y direction, and then partial derivative of t with respect to z, so yun, at z direction, plus yung ating q is the heat generated. So equivalent siya sa energy stored, which is rho Cp partial derivative of t with respect to time. Yan. So, yan yung i-derive natin sa heat diffusion equation. Okay? So, tandaan nyo ito yung equation 2.19 kasi ito yung ginagamit na equation sa pagsosolve ng conduction heat transfer at three-dimensional equation. So, itong equation ito, by the way, is for cube. So, cube. So, kapag iba na yung shape, iba na yung equation. Let's say, spherical. So, ibang equation naman yung spherical. Pero ang mapapalitan lang doon is yung ating coordinates. So, sa spherical, meron tayong instead na x ay theta. So, instead na y ay phi. And instead na z is r. So, theta, phi, and r. So, yun yung nababago sa, depende sa direction. Pag cylindrical, ganoon din, nababago din yung ating coordinate system. So, depende sa kung ano yung coordinate system natin. So, it varies. So, this example is for a cubical. So, since meron tayong x, y, at saka z na direction sa cube. Again, so don't forget this energy balance equation. Energy in plus energy generated minus energy out is equivalent to energy stored. Yung energy generated, possible na may internal energy na generate as heat is being transferred into the system. So, kaya nagkakaroon ng energy generated. So, due to molecular activity. So, yung energy na pumasok minus energy na lumabas plus yung energy na generate ay equal dun sa energy na nai-store doon sa ating system. So, since masyadong malaki yung system natin, kukuha lang tayo ng maliit na portion. So, itong maliit na portion na to, yun lang i-consider natin. Okay? So, i-maximize lang natin. Ipapalakan natin itong maliit na portion na to. So, we have this meron tayo ditong large enhanced figure. So, as you can see here, meron tayong x, meron tayong y direction, tsaka z direction. So, imagine nyo, nagka-transfer yung heat in this system. So, heat is being transferred at x direction. So, kaya may qx tayo kasi yun yung heat na nata-transfer sa x direction. So, paano kapag na-transfer, so kung may pumasok na qx dito, ano yung rate na heat transfer dito? Yung x is direction ha. Yung x, yung sub-x niya is direction. So, pero constant yung ating heat transfer dito. So, pero yung x direction siya. So, kung may x dito, kung qx to, ano dito sa paglabas niya dito sa system? Dito sa part na to. Sa kabilang dulo. Ano na yung magiging heat transfer natin? So, nagkaroon na siya ng change in x direction. Kaya may dx tayo. So, mangyayari dito is q of x plus dx. Nagets ba yun? Yan, for example. So, q of x. Ito yung elemental volume for one-dimensional conduction analysis. So, ito yung q of x nyo. So, dadaan siya dito sa dx. Ito yung x, karoon ng change ng direction, dx. So, i-add lang natin yung x plus dx. So, paglabas nito, nung i-transfer dito is q of x plus dx. q sub x plus dx. Okay? Yan. So, ganun lang. Sa y direction, ganun din. Okay, so y direction. So, Ano yung y? So, ito yung y. Sa tapat ng y-axis. So, yung y, pagpasok niya dito, meron tayong dy. So, magkakaroon ng change in y direction. So, yung heat transfer natin is magiging q of y plus dy. Q sub y plus dy. Okay? So, sa z naman, ganun din. So, ito yung z direction. Mas tingnan nyo lang yung coordinates natin, z direction. So, yung heat transfer dito at qz, so it will go here at qz plus dz. Lalabas siya dito as qz plus dz. So, nadagdag yung dz. So, ina-add lang natin yung direction. Okay? So, ang energy coming in, alin dito yung mga energy na pumasok? Or heat transfer na pumasok. So, I will call someone. Villena Jerome. Erwin.
Yes po, sir.
So, alin yung pumasok dito? Alin yung energy in? Kung magbe-base ka dito sa figure.
Yung QX po.
Ano pa?
QY po at QZ. QZ.
Okay. Alin naman yung energy coming out? Or heat transfer out. Coming out.
QZ, QY, QX na may differential plus
Okay.
differential.
Plus yung distance. Okay, so we have qx plus dx, qy plus dy, qz plus dz. So yun yung energy coming. Okay? So and then we have energy generated and energy stored. Okay? So ano naman yung energy na na-generate natin? So we have here, we have energy generated is the heat transfer times yung volume natin, which is dx, dy, tsaka dz. So, product siya ng, yung energy na na-generate natin is yung ating Q naught times yung volume. Kung ano yung volume ng ating system, which is yun nga, ang volume niya is dx times dy times dz. So, ang tawag natin sa dz, dx, tsaka dy ay differential control volume. So, yung product ng, yung may Q na tayo dito, so usually, minimension na may hit na na-generate, given yung value, i-multiply lang natin dun sa volume. So, kapag may nakita pala kayong Q naught, ibig sabihin nito is watt, ang unit nito is watt per meter cube, per cubic meter, or watt per unit volume. So, kaya need nyo siyang i-multiply ng volume natin, yung differential control volume. So, yun yung na-generate na heat dito. So, as due to molecular activity. Tapos, yung ating energy stored is the time rate. Production ng time rate of change ng sensible thermal energy of the medium per unit volume. So, i-multiply din natin ng unit volume. So, we have, ang formula natin ng energy stored is yung ating rho Cp, partial derivative of T with respect to time. So, saan galing tong equation na to? Tingnan nyo, saan siya galing? So, sa thermodynamics, kung familiar kayo sa pag-calculate ng value ng heat, di ba, ang formula natin doon is mCp delta T. So, doon siya galing. No? So, yung equation na to, yung rho Cp, partial derivative of T with respect to time. Kaso dito nga lang, since three-dimensional, so partial derivative of T with respect to time yung atin. Instead ng delta T, so magiging partial derivative of T with respect to time, which is yun nga, time rate of change. Tapos, yun, MCP, so dito, density times specific heat yung gagamitin natin. So, yung M kasi is mass equals density times volume. So, may density tayo dito, tas may volume tayo dito na dx, dy, dz. So, M, Cp, delta T. So, yung density galing siya, yung M, instead na M, so we have density times yung volume. Yun yung M natin. Kasi diba, density equals mass over volume. So, mass equals density times volume. So, kaya may density, tsaka may volume. Tapos yung Cp, so given siya, and then delta T. So, doon galing yung energy stored na equation. Doon na-derive. So, kapag three-dimensional, so ito yung gagamitin natin. So, sa substitute lang natin, yan. Ano yung mga energy coming in? Dapat pala, ano, no? Meron kasi siyang animation. Hindi ko lang ma-share screen yung... Wala kasi nangyayari pag ini-slideshow ko. Pero may animation siya yung ating presentation. Anyway, so maintindihan nyo naman din kahit walang animation. So we have energy coming in plus energy generated minus energy coming out is equal to energy stored. So yung energy coming in is Qx plus Qy plus Qz. Okay? Yung energy generated kanina is yun nga, yung equation natin dito na Q naught times dx dy times dz. So yun yung energy generated. Energy coming out is, by the way, ito ay plus. So Qx plus Qy plus Qz. So plus siya. Tapos ima-minus natin yung, isusubtract natin yung energy coming out, which is yung ating Q of x. Yun kanina, Q of x plus dx, Q of y plus dy, Q of z plus dz. So, yan yung energy coming out. Yan. So, minus. So, subtract lang natin. So, equal siya sa energy stored. So, yung kanina, energy stored. So, rho Cp, partial derivative with respect to time times yung control volume. Yan. So, ito na yung equation natin. Yan. Meron kayong question sa equation 2.16 kung paano na-derive? So, okay. The conduction rate at the opposite surface can be expressed as a Taylor series expansion where neglecting higher order terms. May ano ba kayong subject na numerical methods this sem? Napag-aralan niyo na yung Taylor series expansion? So, I mean, last sem, meron ba kayong napag-aralan niyo last time yung Taylor series expansion? Sa advanced math, hindi ba yung nare-discuss? Okay, so yun nga, sige, try ko i-explain further yung Taylor series expansion. So meron na tayong equation 2.16. So yung conduction heat rates natin at opposite surfaces can be expressed na as in terms of Taylor series expansion. So we're neglecting higher order terms. Okay, so ang Taylor series expansion kasi, yan, halimbawa ito. So, kasalanan to ni Taylor Swift. A Taylor series is a series expansion of a function about a point. A one-dimensional Taylor series is an expansion of a real function f of x about x equals a given by. So, meron tayong mahabang equation dito na function of x. So, i-digest lang natin. So, for example, meron kayong f of x plus dx. So, meron kayong function at saka meron kayong slope. So, kapag ganito, kagaya nitong sa sa q of x plus dx, meron na kayong function, meron pa kayong slope. So, kapag may ganito kayong equation, yung q of y plus dy, meron na kayong function, may slope pa kayo. Ang function natin is yung x, yung slope nyo is dx. So, y tapos dy, z plus dz. So, itong equation na to ay pwede nyo siyang masimplify using Taylor series expansion. So, paano siya isi-simplify using Taylor series expansion? Kasi hindi nyo naman siya pwedeng i-add at i-subtract kapag ganito yung form niya. So, kailangan nyo siyang i-expand. So, paano ini-expand yun? So, using Taylor series expansion. So, yung kapag meron kayong f of x plus dx, so you have the function. At the same time, you have the slope. Yan. So, sa case natin, yung q of x plus dx. So, we have q of x plus yung slope natin, yung function natin, so plus yung slope. Yung slope natin is partial derivative of qx with respect to x dx. So, ito yun. Ito yun. Ito yung function natin. So, dito kasi ay isang dimension lang. So, kaya dx lang. So, pwede nyo pa siyang expand hanggang sa makarating ka sa higher order terms. So, ang sunod dito sa slope ay d squared f over dx squared times dx squared over 2 plus d cube f over dx cube. Pero, yun nga, hanggang n factorial pa yan. So, pero dito sa ating equation, hindi na natin to consider yung higher order terms o yung HOT. Hanggang dito lang tayo sa second. Sa slope lang tayo magpo-focus. So, kaya, yung sa equation natin, going back, hanggang dito lang tayo. At may okay, hanggang dyan lang tayo. So, para ma-expand yung x plus dx, para ma-solve natin, so need siyang linya ng Taylor series expansion, and to expand that, so we have slope, function plus slope. May question kung bakit nakuha yung partial derivative of 2x with respect to x dx? Yun lang. So, ngayon, okay na. Pwede na natin siyang magamit yung equation na to kasi masisimplify na natin. So, nasimplify na natin to, yung substitute natin dito sa q of x plus dx, itong qx plus partial derivative of x with respect to x dx. Partial derivative of qx pala with respect to x dx. So, ito yung isa-substitute natin dito. Okay? And then, kung mapapansin nyo, minus ay susubtract natin siya. So, kapag sinubtract natin, makakancel na to. Yan, nakakancel na yung x. Kasi, susubtract siya ng x dito sa nung na-expand natin yung Taylor series. Yan. Yung y din, makakancel, tsaka yung z. Yan, kasi makakancel doon. Tapos, ang matitira na lang ay alin pa yung pwedeng i-simplify dyan sa tingin nyo? Meron pa ba? So, yun. Ang matitira na lang dyan is ito. So, yung negative na partial derivative ng qx with respect to x dx. So, ito yun. Minus, dahil negative to eh. So, minus partial derivative of qy with respect to y dy. Minus yung partial derivative of qz with respect to z dz. Plus yung ating, nandito pa rin yung ating energy generated na q dx dy dz. So, huwag nakakalimutan yung nut. Hindi ko lang nalagyan dito ng nut. Yung nut. So, equal siya sa energy stored na rho Cp partial derivative of t with respect to time dx dy dz. Okay. So, yun yung equation 2.17. Yeah, pwede pa natin itong masimplify. So, pwede pa siyang masimplify. Yan, ito yung Taylor series expansion kanina. Medyo magulo-gulo na to. Tanggalin ko muna yung ano ha. Hindi ko natanggal yung mga lines. Ito pa kasi yung ginamit ko dun sa So, anong mangyayari dito sa equation natin? Delete ko lang muna yung mga ginamit kong lines para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay, so yun. So, ito yung equation 2.70 natin kanina, no? Ayan. So, conduction heat rates in an isotropic material may be evaluated from Fourier's law. So, we have, i-apply natin yung Fourier's law, no? So, we have Qx equals negative Ka dt over dx. So, dito sa, kapag 3-dimensional, so we have partial derivative of t with respect to x na yung ating instead na dt over dx. No? So, yung area pala natin, yung area natin is area na normal dun sa ating heat transfer. So, for example, yung QA natin, balik tayo sa figure, no? Yung QA natin, QX natin, anong area na normal sa QX? So, we have dy tsaka dz. So, sa QZ naman, anong area na normal? So, we have dx tsaka dz. Ay, tama ba? dx tsaka dy pala, sorry, sa QZ. Sa QY naman, ay ang area na normal sa kanya is dx tsaka dz. So, substitute lang natin dito. So, Ka, partial derivative of t with respect to x. Ngayon, so yun, substitute lang natin yung Fourier's law, no? So, Ka dt over dx. So, saan natin siya gagamitin? So, pwede na natin itong ma-simplify. By the way, magiging positive na yung sign natin. So, kasi negative Ka pala yung Fourier's law. So, magiging positive na yung ating sign dito. So, we have positive na siya, Ka dt over dx. Ka partial derivative of t with respect to x. Okay, may question kayo kung paano nakuha tong Ka dt over dx natin? Okay na? So, kinuha lang natin yung normal, area na normal dun sa heat transfer. And then, kung mapapansin nyo, yung ating equation, meron siyang common, may common siya na multiplier, which is yung dx, dy, tsaka dz, no? So, pwede natin etong kabila, so pwede natin siyang i-multiply. Ng simplify lang natin tong partial derivative of x with respect to x dx. So, masisimplify natin siya using nga yung ating Fourier's law, no? So, etong sa x-axis, multiply lang natin siya ng area. So, we have, ang area niya is dy dz. So, magkakaroon na siya ng bali, isa-substitute natin yung equation na to dito. Sa partial derivative of qx with respect to x dx. So, equivalent siya dito. So, Ka dt over dx. So yung y ganun din. So equivalent naman siya dito sa k dx dz. And then yung qz ganun din. So equivalent siya sa k dx dy, partial derivative of t with respect to z, kung i-apply natin yung Fourier's law, no? So yun. So apply lang natin yung Fourier's law. Makakancel natin yung mga dx dy at saka dz. So matitira dito is yan. So cancel yung dy dz. Kung i-multiply natin both ng dx dy dz, so cancel yung dy dz tsaka dx. So makakancel itong mga to, ano? So both sides of equation ay may dx dy dz. So makakancel sila. Yan. So matitira na lang dito is sa generated natin EQ na lang. Tapos ang matitira dito sa stored natin ay ito na lang, yung raw CP, partial derivative of t with respect to time. Tapos ang natira dito is itong ating sinimplify natin na partial derivative of t with respect to x multiplied by yung ating thermal conductivity K. So galing siya dito, no? With respect to x. Tapos ganoon din sa y direction at saka sa z direction. So ito na yung ating equation 2.19. So ang ginawa natin, yung ating heat equation at x-axis, i-simplify lang natin using Ka del dt over dx. So sa case na to nga is three-dimensional, kaya partial derivative of t with respect to x yung gagamitin natin. So using Fourier's law. Tapos yung area natin is yung area normal. So yung area natin, itong ating partial qx over x, ito yung magiging value niya. K dy dx partial t over partial x using Fourier's law. So substitute lang natin, makakancel yung, matitira yung mga, substitute natin and then multiply natin yung common factor nila na dx dy dz. So ito yung matitira. Partial x, partial y, tsaka partial z. Okay? Yun, overtime na pala tayo. So may question? Continue ulit natin next meeting. Okay? So dito tayo natapos sa equation 2.9. So, see you again next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you.